welcome to Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris, the best college podcast, where we continue to explore the big questions about education, careers, and the future. But most importantly, the show that is empowering minds one episode at a time. I am your host, Professor Chris, and the author of Getting the Most Out of Your College Experience. Congratulations, high school seniors. I just want to take a moment to address a few things, just a few things about your decision making as you transition, and also just happen to have a few conversations with parents, students, not at the same time. I'm listening and hearing both sides of the story. As we're getting ready, as we're getting very excited about graduation, we've made plans for college. My question today is, I know you've selected your colleges. Have you picked smartly and have you picked wisely? The reason I wanted to discuss this topic is because of a little dilemma most of our parents have. Having mentored students over the years, 20 plus years, is the same discussions parents have had with me, more so than the students on this topic. The main thing really for the parents is, remember, high school, we're done with high school. Yes, comes the freedom, and we're excited to leave the household. And our parents may be sad, but what is really on their mind is whether you're making the best decision financially. Yes, they're going to miss you. You want to be far away. And yes, they have to deal with that. But are we making the smart decision financially so it is going to be a little easier on their wallet? Right? That is the main thing. That's the main concern. All right. So in some of the discussions we've had, mainly, I'm going to get to the students here, but mainly with the parents, is why do you want to go to this school when it's not providing the best buck for the money, right? And I get it, because remember, in high school, you're saving, you got bright futures, maybe you're going to the college, right? So all this need to transition into your college. But now you've decided either one, you're going out of state, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with going out of state. I'll get into that here. All I'm asking is, are we making the smart and the best decision? Okay, so I'm going to help you help your parents. So before I get into the perception of what all these colleges are, I kind of want to make a quick disclaimer here, because apparently Professor Chris doesn't like school A or school B. No, Professor Chris loves all colleges, community colleges included, right? So my little disclaimer here is, by all means, if you've gotten a full ride to go to the Yale, to the Harvard, to the Stanford, to the Cal Poly, to the Duke, Chapel Hill, wherever it is, if you've gotten the full ride, and by full ride I'm meaning hopefully room and board, but definitely tuition, right? And maybe you're still in state, so it helps. Please, by all means, take it and go. All right? So just want to put that disclaimer out there. Okay. Let's start with the selling point. Okay. Currently, I know most of you, and by you I mean the high school seniors, right? In the process of picking the colleges, you're posting where you're going to, right? So you're naming all the schools that you're going to. Your friends are getting excited. But be very careful, because I guarantee you, and by the way, if you do want to go to those colleges, that's fine. You can always still take classes from community colleges. I want to get into that. But what I want to make very clear is, when your friends are picking all the schools and it's all exciting, most of your friends are not necessarily, by the way, going to these colleges, okay? At the end of the day, it is up to you and your parents sitting down to see what is best for you and for your parents who are going to continue to support you, okay? So I want to talk a little bit about some of the myths that are out there, which is Yes, all this, there's prestige, right? We need to understand prestige and how colleges really build on prestige. And sometimes we think the prestige that comes with this institution equals better opportunities. Not necessarily. At the end of the day, do you have the right qualification when you graduate and you're going? Yes, I get it. Sometimes some alums and some institutions help. But at the end of the day, do you have the right qualifications? Have you studied hard? Have you built the team efforts? Have you able to apply theory to practical application? Those are the things that you're looking for, and it doesn't really matter what institution you went to. So yes, I get it. Some of the prestige, the Ivy League schools, the elite schools lay emphasis on who've been to this school. It looks good. Maybe they have a good sporting program and it looks good. You want to graduate, and at the end of the day, you want to be, oh, I went to this school, I went to that school. But do you really care? Marketing is the other aspect. Look at some of the marketing. Schools are spending millions of dollars right now marketing. Now, this is my thing for you as you're getting ready to help your parents. You need the institutions just as much as they need you, and this is what I mean by that. If you study really, really hard, you've got the right GPA, there are schools that are crying and pleading with you to come to their institution. Take advantage of that to reassess, first of all, alignment. Alignment is key. Which of these institutions, sorry, I keep going back to the previous episode, but I gave you the 5 steps on how to pick the best institution. My number 4 on that list is you've narrowed your schools down to 3. And the way you pick one out of those 3 is who is giving you the best value for the buck. Meaning, how much are they offering to pay you, to pay you, meaning scholarships, financial aid for you to come to their institution, which makes it better for both you and your parents. So you do have a say in this decision-making process as to, well, how much do you want me? And how much are you offering? Okay. This is a really interesting time now with declining enrollment in some of this institution. It's actually good. It's actually good for all of you, whether you're thinking about going to college, high school seniors, graduating, going to college. This is actually a very, very interesting time for you to make the right decision. That means you are actually an asset to the institution you're going to, and you need to really explore that opportunity. What do you need to care about? Usually I summarize it in 2 key points. One is alignment, which I've mentioned over and over again. Which institution aligns with your goals and objectives of what eventually you want to become or do in life, right? That is the most important thing. And the second most important thing, once again, is cost. Remember these 2 things. Which institutions aligns best with my goals and objectives, and which one is offering me the best value, cost-wise. Okay? All right. That's what you probably need to care about. Now, what you need to look for in this institution, one, of course, is the academic strengths and opportunity. I've stressed over and over and over again, along these lines, number 1 is, we've already done alignment. I'm not going to talk about alignment again. Your next thing, of course, with this institution is faculty to student ratio. You are transitioning, you're taking a big step into college, and faculty to student ratio is very, very important because your high school numbers were not that big. So when you're transitioning into college, most of these introductory courses in your college, I guarantee you, once again, I've been to 4 different colleges and I know what I'm talking about. The ratios are not that great, especially in some of these huge universities. You're probably looking at a classroom of 300, 400 students. You might get lost. So when I say, or when I bring up community colleges in this part of my discussion, which is, it is going to be your best transition, meaning for the money, all right, for the money, for what it's worth, for the money that you're going to pay, or even given the scholarship or the financial aid, Community colleges, once again, are your best bet when it comes to a very smart and wise way of dealing with faculty to student ratio. You could always transfer. You could always transfer. Your developmental classes, which is going to be the same across the board, especially your first year, you could take from a community college and transfer. So yes, I get it. You've told your friends you're going to this school and that school and that school. And by the way, even while you're at that school, you can still take classes cheaper from these community colleges and transfer it over. And the next thing you need to look for, of course, is the financial aid and how much it is providing you. Does it meet 100% of the need? Yes, I'm not stretching it. 100% of the need is possible. And of course, some other incentives that you probably want to look at is undergraduate research, any hands-on opportunities, which once again, community college is great at. What matters at the end of the day, once again, is the rate of return versus the rate of investment. A whole new topic. A whole new topic. Again, this is a topic for all those that are currently in college, as well as you getting ready to go. So I will do that another time. But what I mean by the rate of return needs to be greater, by all means. That's what matters, than the rate of investment. It takes over 20 years on an average for students to pay off their loans after graduation. 20 years on an average. So if there's any way we can reduce that, let's do that now. But once again, a whole new topic that I will talk about as we specifically on the rate of return versus the rate of investment. So in closing, once again, ask yourself this question: have you picked smartly and wisely? And the only two things I want you to look at, so it's not too confusing, is one, have your decision, have your pick align with your goals and objectives? And two, how much is it costing you and your parents? Freedom can be very expensive, but if we pick wisely, and we pick carefully, and we pick smartly, we can actually enjoy both. Well, there you have it once again. This is Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. It is my pleasure. I'm very, very excited. Congratulations, all high school seniors. Please send your questions to me, okay? I will continue to do the best that I can to empower minds, one episode at a time. Don't drink beer. With all the freedom comes everything else that you could do. Don't drink beer, but my beer to you is balance, eat well, exercise, and rest. Remember, freedom at last, but you got to use that freedom wisely. All right. Once again, congratulations. Welcome to college, and I'll see you on the next episode of Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. Welcome to Let's Talk Ed with Professor Chris. This is one of the best college podcasts where we continue to explore the big questions about education, careers, and the future. But most importantly, this is the show that is empowering minds one episode at a time. I am still your host, Professor Chris. The day is here. I am really, really excited to announce the best college self-guide book, Getting the Most Out of Your College Experience, is finally here. Why did I write this book? There is much need for this book, which completely addresses most of the challenges and concerns that college students face. The very first chapter talks about college or no college, the why, the what, the where, the when, and the how. The information about academics and resources you may not know about is covered in this book, topics of interest that play a major role in your college experience, friendly advice and suggestions that will help you handle challenges that you will encounter, personal stories about my own experiences and those of my students' stories illustrating the challenges of college life drawn from my experience as a student advisor and mentor, picking the right major, the right opportunities, how you can make money in college, how to get money in college, financial aid, scholarships, dealing with loss, depression, suicide, relationships, international students, immigration, vets, entrepreneurship, life after college, and the list goes on and on and on. It's all covered in here. For any high school graduates, this is probably going to be the best gift they could ever get as they are preparing for college. It is also for the college freshmen and anyone planning on going, or especially those that are currently enrolled, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. This book is for every college student. This is the book that I wished I had before going to college. And it's also the book I hope I had while I was in college. Get a copy of Getting the Most Out of Your College Experience now. You can get it online at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, iTunes, and Google Play. If you want a signed copy, you can go to my website at www.letustalked.com. Get your copy and let's continue to talk ed. Thank you.